An album cover can be anything nowadays. It can even be this default cover template. I'm not even kidding. But is every cover you see out there original? Or is the cover derived from other places? Well, today, we're gonna be talking about album covers that look very similar to each other. Let's get started. Starting off with our XK Nephew's Till I'm Dead. I don't know much about this album other than the fact that the album cover looks very similar to Biggie's Ready to Die. Maybe I should go back and actually listen to his music because I might be missing out. Another album whose cover is very similar to this one is Organized Crime 2 by All Star Jr. But that's not quite it when it comes to covers for modern rap albums looking similar to older rap album covers. Here we have Suicide 3 by Mike Shab and Boldy James. And if you look real closely at this album cover, you'll notice that it looks a lot like the cover to The Shining by Smith & Wesson. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but the cover goes hard either way. But who said they needed to look similar to older rap album covers? Because they can also look an awful similar to older album covers of other genres as well. Take OOU Cartier by Cartier God for example. It's very similar to the cover for Thriller by Michael Jackson, is it not? This isn't the only instance of him doing this though, as his 2019 project The Block is Wet also borrows from another album cover. This time it's the cover for The Block is Hot by Lil Wayne. Now we're gonna go straight into the rock album covers. And at this point, I swear they're just stealing album covers from other people because there is no way this was just a coincidence. This is the cover for the 1998 metal album Oddfellows Rest by Crowbar. And what did metal band Metallica decide to do for their 2016 album Hardwired to Self-Destruct? That's right. Fucking steal the cover. Like you didn't have any other original ideas for your cover, so you just had to take from someone else. Shame on you. But other album covers looking way too similar to rock album covers doesn't even end there, as we have the cover for Slimy Stuff by Hard Rock. And this directly takes inspiration from the album cover of the iconic 1973 rock release The Dark Side of the Moon by British band Pink Floyd. His cover is kinda cool though. And it doesn't even end with classic 70s rock album covers. We also dive into classic 90s rock album covers with the cover for JTXVII by JT Music. By the way, the Roman numerals pan out to the number 18 for those whose Roman knowledge is a little rusty at the moment. But any person can recognize that this cover is very similar to the cover for Nirvana's Nevermind. You wanna know another cover that is similar to Nirvana's Nevermind? The cover for Lucky's Freewave 2. And it doesn't even end there with the album covers that are inspired by rock album covers. I know this one was pretty obvious when it released. The cover for Heroes and Villains by Metro Boomin. I actually like this album a lot as it had a lot of replay value for me. But the cover was actually inspired by the cover for Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And I think that's what makes the cover here even cooler than it initially was. Alright, we're done with the rock inspired covers. Thank God. But we're not done with the inspired album covers. Now hear me out. Testing by ASAP Rocky. Not everyone's favorite album. I get that. But I think the cover was inspired by the cover for NWA's Straight Outta Compton. Look. All of the people on this cover are crowded up in the same way the people on that cover were. And I know they're not exactly the same album cover, but it doesn't matter. The cover is still inspired either way. Now here's definitely a rap album cover that is very inspired by another rap album cover. This is the cover for Kamikaze by Eminem. The album where he disses a bunch of new generation rappers that don't focus their sound on their lyrical capabilities. I mean hell, your T even caught a stray here. You may also notice that the cover is very similar to that of Licensed to Ill by Beastie Boys. Now I know you graphic design motherfuckers have seen this album cover a lot since it dropped. This is the cover for The Life of Pablo by Kanye West. Everyone knows this album cover. What everyone may not know about this album cover though is that it's inspired by the cover for Nothing Fails by Madonna. Now this one might be a little bit of a stretch, but let me explain. The cover for Hell Won't Save You by Baby Kaya. I believe that this cover is very similar to the cover for DMX's Flesh of My Flesh Blood of My Blood. You wanna know why I think this is so? Because both are soaked in blood and are paired up against a white background. Let me know what y'all think about this one. Me honestly, I feel like I nailed it. Also maybe a stretch, but let me cook. The cover for Texas Technician by That Mexican OT is very similar to the cover for Yeezus by Kanye West. Both covers are in the form of discs paired with a white background. What more can I say other than that? Next up, we got two covers that are inspired by Stankonia by Outkast. The first one is Only Built for Infinity Links by Quavo and Takeoff, where the flags shown in the background clearly show similarities to the flags shown in the background of Stankonia. This cover is also inspired by Only Built for Cuban Links, obviously. The second one is Pink Tape by Lil Uzi Vert. And fun fact about this album, the alternative cover was inspired by David Bowie's Earthling. So there were actually two inspiration points for this album's artwork as well. Next we have YoungBoy. Surprisingly, he has done this twice. The first time was with the cover for his album Top, which shared a lot of similarities with the cover for Roddy Ricch's Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. The other time was with the cover for his mixtape 3800 Degrees, which shared a lot of similarities with the cover for Juvenile's 400 Degrees. Next we have Lil B, who has done this a whopping 3 times. The first time was with the cover for his mixtape The Silent President, which draws a lot of inspiration from the cover for Kanye West and Jay-Z's Watch the Throne. The second time was with the cover for his mixtape The Based Print 2, which also takes inspiration from Jay-Z and his cover for The Blueprint 2. And the third time he did this was with the cover for his mixtape Based World Paradise, which is way too similar to the cover for Kanye West's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Next we have the cover for Clay Crucial Perry 3's mixtape The Clueprint, which is very obviously inspired by the cover for The Blueprint. Matter fact, I bet this entire project was inspired by The Blueprint. Next we have Osama Sun with his cover for the deluxe edition for Flex Music. Because the artwork was basically stolen from Iron Maiden, they sued him and forced him to change the cover of it to the cover of the original album. And the worst thing about that cover is that it low-key went hard. And finally, we have all the album covers that aren't inspired by other album covers but are inspired by other things. The cover for Whole Lotta Red by Playboi Carti is inspired by the Slash magazine cover. The cover for Ian's Valedictorian is inspired by the meme of a white man standing. The cover for Lil B's Based Jam is inspired by Space Jam. Obviously. The cover for Kids See Ghosts is inspired by the painting for Manji Fuji, and the original album cover for Eternal A Take by Lil Uzi Vert was inspired by Heaven's Gate. He was gonna use it until they threatened to sue him for it. And that pretty much does it for album covers that look similar to others. If you think I missed any in this video, please comment them down below. If I get enough comments, I will do a part 2. Until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.